Hello, everyone. Welcome to Scrying 101. Scrying, not crying. Scrying, Scrying, scrying is a divination practice that is ages old. A little bit of history. It was done in all indigenous practices. In Mexico, they scryed on massive black slabs of like obsidian, which is like a pitch black stone. They would very finely buff the top of it so it would be reflective, and they would scry, which is a defocalized gaze. Listening with your eyes, like my mentor Sarah Artemisia says. And I like to say, finding a place of grounding in the body and looking out from that place. So the Mexicans, the indigenous Mexicans, like the Aztecs, the Maya, um, they're all of the other tribes that I don't want to butcher any of their names, the Baruca people, everyone, they all had in Central America many different ways of scrying on bodies of water, on nature, on massive black slabs of obsidian. The Druids, like the Greeks, the Hindus, the people of Confucius' time in China, um, so many different everywhere, all over the world, in Africa, Australia, all of the primitive first peoples had this practice of uh, defocalizing their gaze and building relationship with an element um, where their minds were empty. And once you get really good at scrying, you can come with questions. But that's not what we're gonna do here today because, um, like I've mentioned a few times in my content and in other containers, that I've held the patriarch and capitalism and dogma, religion at large has largely taken us away from the act of building neutral time, cultivating neutral time, and building this relationship with these deep parts of ourselves, spirit, and building relationship with what's around us, right? Being really present and doing nothing on purpose, like it's either we're doing something or we're accepting something. It's either we're buying or we're selling. It's either we're awake or we're sleeping. It's either we're working or we're lazy. It's like this very dualistic, and duality doesn't exist, by the way. But it's this very like hot and cold, yes or no, stop and go. Um, Life that we've been conditioned to live as appropriate, but we were severed from this natural part of our body's regulatory response system, which is to cultivate this neutral time to give ourselves the space to integrate. And um, once we have a good relationship built with how our bodies, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically just filters all of the information that we're constantly absorbing like all the time. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's like back in the day, like people in like 1800 would absorb the amount of stuff that we absorb in one day in their whole life. So our brains have not really caught up evolutionarily to the amount of information and stimuli that we're currently taking in. So that's why it's also imperative. Synthesize was the word that I wanted to say the other day, a few moments ago, in place of that filter. Uh, s- Synthesizing that stimuli is really essential. And we don't have the ability, or we've lost it, so we need to remember it, to cultivate this neutral time, so we're able to synthesize um, how we move, how we engage with life, how we show up to work, how we can navigate, this very precarious, elusive, mysterious, magical life that we are given with all of this illusionary limitations and challenges and obstacles that are in our way. A way to first build relationship with how to navigate is by taking ourselves out of the equation, and we take ourselves out of the equation by cultivating neutral time. And again, once we get really good at this, we can start bringing our questions to our neutral time practices. Here's a few. So, like I said, the Aztecs and the Mayans and the ancient people of Central America and Mexico in particular, um, would would scry defocalize their gaze on a buffed piece of obsidian, which is like so badass. You know what I mean? The Druids and the Celtic people, which is my lineage, would scry on a um, water bowl, a silver bowl that's filled with water, and the different vibrations or movements or reflections that were in the bowl would tell them their information that they were looking to harvest from, this relationship with this element. Um, how I scry is often in nature. I don't look at any certain thing. It's kind of just like all of it, and you glaze over kind of and look from that place out from the back of your eyes out. And from that place of grounding in the body and looking out from that place, right? But it's also just, it's absolutely magical because what that practice is that grounding in the body, that presence, that consciousness is essentially you're looking at whatever you're looking at with your third eye, not with these two eyes. Of course, they're open, they're functioning, but you're looking from like the pineal gland. And so like if it feels like it's coming, like if that grounded place is coming out from here, fine. Mine, no, it's kind of just from like the back of my eyeballs. But I've gotten really, really good at this. But however it works for you, you know how it feels to just gaze off into space. Just do that. That's what it is. It's like we don't have to fucking overthink it. It's literally a natural part of how we, regulate our bodies. So like you have the skill. If it works for you, however it works, that's fine. And that's right. And you're doing it right and you can't do it wrong. So just chill. Um, What was I going to say about that? So yeah, the Druids had this practice of looking at water, and a lot of the scrying divinatory. It's like 10 p.m. But anyways, divination practices are all essentially often using a reflective surface. You could use mirrors. Back in the day, like in ancient Egypt, they would use the black mirror. Like, whoa. And actually, my altar is a mirrored piece of blue glass that my dead husband bought for me like years before he died. And I've always used it as my altar. And then I found out what this was, and I was like, oh my fucking God. Like intuitively, I just knew to use this as my altar. And like it's like I said, Celtic, Druid. Um, it's in my bones to scry on a reflective surface, but you can also do it by just gazing out at nature, by get just looking out the window, by just, lighting a candle, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I have a little candle here. I'm traveling right now, so I have my travel altar with me. Gratefully, I have everything I need to record this little training, little demo. So we're gonna do this, and um, you need a candle and then something to light your candle. Because what I like to do to build relationship with this element first is we're gonna just chill all the way down, go into a little meditation, and then um, gaze at it for a while. Okay. And if you start to get angry and you think that nothing is happening, that's your mind's attempt at reeling you back into your conditioning. So it's okay if it doesn't work the first time. We're building relationship. It's like you're not gonna like go out to someone on the street and be like, let's get married right now. Come on. And it's like, okay, do you want like my number first? Can we like get a bite to eat. Actually, not even, I don't even prefer like your sex. I'm not heterosexual. I'm homosexual. You don't even know anything about this person. You know what I mean? So it's like when you build a relationship with someone, you have to inquire and show up and be intentional and care, right? About being reciprocal in that relationship. So it's not just like, hey, Candle, give me what you know. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is be very compassionate stewards of our current assignment, which is to build relationship and to unravel these knots um, that have separated us from this skill that we have always had over the many ancient millennia that we practice this. And so giving yourself some space to remember, and in time, you will be able to do it. You won't get sleepy, you won't get angry. It just will be a part of who you are. You know what I mean? You can just do it whenever you want. I don't even think about it. I just do it. Like it just a reflex. So it becomes that over time, but it takes a little bit of practice, and that's okay. Um, so let's just get comfortable, right? Let's get comfortable. Let's go into a little bit of a meditation here. Just getting comfortable wherever you are, feeling the touch of the body on your seat, feeling the grounded weight of your body being embraced by gravity, maybe placing the feet on the floor or just relaxing your shoulders away from your ears, your tongue away from your roof of your mouth. And taking a deep inhale through the nose. On the exhale, relaxing the belly muscles a little bit further, relaxing the cheeks, the temples, the forehead, the eyelids, just chilling everything down. Keeping that nice, steady breath. Next inhale, filling the chest all the way up with this precious life force. Holding at the top. And as we exhale, feeling everything release, all of the thoughts, all of the comparison, all of the how-to methods, letting it all go. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhaling deeply, holding at the top. Slowly exhale, letting go all of the limitations, letting go of your obstacles, letting go of any of those thoughts that are plaguing you. One more time. Inhale. On the exhale, just allowing that emptiness to open you, to hold you, to give you that sense of nurturing, that unconditional support that is your birthright, that is inherently what you deserve, that is your natural state. Taking another deep inhale in, exhaling all the way out, maybe feeling your guides support around you or in front of you. And sending the awareness and the attention up to the third eye. So maybe looking up with your eyes closed, keeping the eyes closed and just gazing up towards the center of your forehead, that space between the eyebrows, and just focusing on this space. Maybe you're noticing a light, maybe it's a certain color, maybe it's just pure white. Keeping that deep inhalation, really just keeping the body as regulated and grounded and safe as possible while we keep our focus on our mind's eye, where our consciousness exists, where our awareness and presence exists, feeling held in that space, feeling held and witnessed by your own light. When you're feeling satisfied, slowly bringing the eyes back to a neutral position, keeping the eyes closed and finding that place of groundedness in the body, finding that place that anchors you in this moment. Is it in your belly? Is it in your heart? Is it in your womb? Is it on the back of your body? Sometimes I feel my guides with their hands on the back of my shoulder, and endearing support. Sometimes I feel that. Sometimes I anchor into that sensation. So any sensation that's coming up that's giving you that grounded sense, go there and build relationship with this grounded essence that exists within you. Taking another deep inhale, slowly exhaling through the mouth. Two more just like that. On your own time, deeply inhaling and fully exhaling. Inhaling deeply and exhaling deeply. Awesome job, everyone. Slowly coming back into your bodies. Maybe wiggling some fingers, starting to gently blink the eyes open, coming back into this space to notice the surroundings around you. And when you're ready, gathering your candle. Another way that you can also enhance your scrying practice. Again, I have my travel altar here. So we're working with, this is like my little bag of sage and Palo Santo, like little chips. I don't even know where I got this, but some witch store probably. But sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of something to burn, some smoke. It's scrying is a very vulnerable state, especially when you're first learning it. And so what the smoke does is help to protect your subconscious and your unconscious from any energy that is not yours and that is not of benevolent service to you. And so it's not necessary for right now. You are totally protected. You are totally protected. So if there's any thought of like, oh no, I don't have that, it's okay. It's okay. You can do that next time. But if you do have sage or Palo Santo or another smoke blend stick that is dried somewhere, or even like literally anything, if you just want to like burn a match and have a little smoke, that's good. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be made wrong. There's no right way to do it. This is just a suggestion. But going forward, if you want to continue this practice, you can get some thing to burn, and that is what you're going to do after you light your candle. Here's your candle. I'm going to go ahead and light it. And there she is. And what I'm going to do is just light my Palo Santo by the candle that I'm using to scry. Let me put it in my, oh, it's burning me. It's okay. I'm gonna put it in my little, I have a travel shell that I bring with me. And so it's just gonna smoke. I'm just giving this area a nice hug with this smoke. And so when we're ready, we're going to remember that place of grounding in the body and feel that comfort, that stationed regulatory anchor that we just cultivated in our meditation. I want you to look at the candle and don't look at any part of it. Just look at the general space of the candle. And your mind will probably try to get you to look at certain aspects of it. And then you can go to the back of your awareness and kind of blur it out. And you have like this like watercolor painting in front of you, this kind of very fuzzy image, just looking from there and then finding a place in or around the candle, maybe on the flame, that feels comfy to just rest your eyes on. Just resting our eyes on the candle and just watching the flame move, giving ourselves as much time as we need to gather that restful, reciprocal relationship between ourselves and this ancient element that is responsible for all life on Earth. And if the flame is dancing and starting to move and the candle is changing shapes, just allow it to do whatever it wants. None of it is right, none of it is wrong. It just is, just this moment of presence. And if the mind starts to wander, just coming back to that gaze, finding a place that feels comfy, moving to the back of the eyes, moving into that glazed over awareness, keeping that tethered connection to that place in the body that feels anchored and grounded, and looking out from that place. What I'm going to do is just face my camera down on the candle and come back in a little bit and keep gazing on your candle and starting to just breathe and taking in anything that comes up. And if any of those thoughts try to rip you out of this moment, know that is your sovereign responsibility and radical birthright to cultivate this space. You deserve to be held and to build relationship with one of your oldest ancestors. Just allowing it to be whatever it is, not making meaning out of any of it. Just giving yourself the space to be. All right. It's about 5 minutes of scrying, but that was pretty difficult, wasn't it? Maybe you're invited to leave. Maybe you were intrigued. Maybe the flame was talking to you. What was it saying? I want to know. In time, doing this for 10 or 15 minutes, really good practice. Making sure that the phone is quiet, on do not disturb mode. Making sure that no one is gonna bother you or barge into your house or just staying in that space of neutrality, staying in that space of relationship with the flame. Amazing. You did so good. You did so well. I bet you never looked so closely at a flame before. You never saw all of the many different ways to look at a flame, a fire. Wow, all of the colors, all of the layers, all of the shapes, sizes, personalities. Giving ourselves the space to inquire deeper and come back as many times as we want, just to build relationship, just to gaze at a flame. You can also do this with a cup of water, um, or on the landscape, staring out the window. You can do this on smoke if you want to burn incense. You can also just watch the smoke burn. It will tell you things. Whatever feels good for you, like maybe flame isn't your thing. Maybe the landscape is the thing. That's how I started. I started scrying on the landscape, and then I started scrying on the flame, and then I started scrying on bowls of water because my ancestors told me to get a silver bowl and learn how to scry on a bowl of water. So I'm still working on that. Um, but the tea candle, the candle, super simple. You can do it whenever you want, and beautiful practice that I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for learning about scrying and taking the time to cultivate neutral time with me today. And in time, you can bring your questions to this practice, and the flame, or the water, or the landscape, or the smoke will gift you the next steps and give you the courage to take them. With all my love.